Welcome to this video. Thank you so much for tuning in, sharing in this now moment with myself and with one another. If you haven't seen these videos before, welcome. Welcome back. If you have, my intention is unity and oneness, the highest levels of love light. I just want to go into a little flow. I just did an energy update video, if we want to call it that. Energy is always updating. But I want to just see what the guides have to share. So I do these videos, I just go into kind of a multi-dimensional, multi-sensory way of expressing messages that come from my guidance team. I call them my higher guidance team. So this is meant to be felt, not necessarily understood on a linear basis, but we'll see what comes through. And so we are hosting, if you will. We are a host of energies. What I'm expressing is a host of energies, but this is also a meaning for you watching this video. You are a host in a body, hosting these energies on Mother Earth, but also the guides I'm communicating with are also hosts of energies. I'm being called to play with that. So I will, and I'll come back to that. So as we host these energies, as we become the host or hostess, if you will, I'm seeing a Twinkie, and then I'm hearing twinkle, twinkle. Guys, this is how my multi-sensory abilities work. It's really food related a lot. Oh, what's that movie, Zombie? The zombies were looking for Twinkies. Anyways, Zombieland, no. Bill Murray's in it. Anyways, okay, I digress. So each of us is a channel for a host of energies. Each of us is a host holding frequencies and energies that are starborn, airborne, that we are the heirs of. And so as we do this, we are being guided, we are being held, if you will. And so each of us is a host to one another, as well as a host of ancestral connections and points and references. We play with this for a bit and we'll come back to this. Hearing hostess with the mostess. So as we move through these energies, we will be feeling a host of energies, many different energies, frequencies, ideas, concepts will be born. And I'm hearing now, now, now. So every moment, every breath. We are being called to be at our finest. I'm hearing the finest jewel in our finest hour, our hour of power. And this is important for those who are aware of their higher potential, whether or not you have fully embodied that highest potential, but you are aware of it. You are the ones who are the hosts of the new reality. You are the ones that are engineering the landscape or the topography of how that reality looks. So how it looks is seen through your eyes. And so those of you who are using your technology, your vision with eyes to see, your ability to see clairvoyantly, to hear, to see, to feel, to see the field, to see what it is to feel into the field, to see how this might look, I'm hearing for thee, is so important. For we are creating faster with more vibrancy in a vivid landscape, more vividly than we ever have before. So as we create, we must recognize that we are creating a host of energies that we may not be understanding fully yet, and yet we are creating these energies. So while it may seem at times that we are incapable of understanding time, that we are incapable of understanding these times and what it is that we are seeing from a 3D or lower vantage point, when we step into our higher resonance, of expansion, expansiveness, abundance, creativity, we are able to activate the majority. We are able to activate the majority of the higher concepts, the higher realms. We can then receive these bits, these bites, these sound bites, these waves, these energies, these particles in a fluid way that without necessarily knowing from a linear, lower human, and by the way, this is not to say that humans aren't wonderful and high and all this. It's like a lower, the lower resonance. We are able to then create from that higher field, even though we may not feel that we are. We may not understand from a conceptualization or the old packaging or ideas of what that looks like. We are truly connected to that higher vantage point already. So we must move forward with a sense of inner trust. We must move forward with a sense of knowing that we are doing this, whether we realize it or not, whether we see it when we are not necessarily feeling like we are able to see. So let us play with this for a moment. We are all uniquely vibrating in a wavelength that is relevant for our expansion, that is relevant for our own experience. And when we use the word own, we could play with this in so many different ways. Own it, feel it, know it, trust that this is your own beautiful, chosen path that has many different paths, pathways, roots, shoots, leaves, leaving, believing, leaving the idea that we are not connected behind. We invite all to move into the root, the bulb, the light bulb, the center, the space of the heart component that allows us to move away from compartmentalization to move into the higher potency, the higher potential and resonance for the human. I always say HU, men, many, light, many, color, many, that we all are. Even though at times we may not feel like we are, we are. We are that which is the energy that moves through all things. For we are connected to all things, therefore we are the energy that is in all things, that is in us, that is innate. And playing with the word innate, infinity, infinite, infinite, infinite. We are not finite, yet we are living in realities that are finite, that are based on a finite system. And so when we get stuck, or when we feel as if we are not moving, or we feel as if we are unable to see the fuller potential of what it is that we really are co-creating together, that we are now, that we are creatively accessing together, the more we can see the human capacity for expansion, growth, love, joy, bliss, caring for one another, the easier it is for us to ignite these possibilities. The easier it is for us to ignite and see beyond the possibilities that we think we see now. For the possibilities are endless, infinite, and they are moving out in such a ripple that we would invite you to see past the doubt that may be rippling through you now. the self-doubt that has been created because of the reality that we have created or been created in, through, and been born into. In this particular skin suit, we might add. We would invite you to get back to the truth, the beauty in youth, in youthfulness, to feel the fullness and vitality of the inner youth, the fountain of youth, the fountain that is ever flowing within, the cup that runneth over, the fountain of youth that is inside each and every person, each and every being, because it is all energy. So, what energy are we projecting from this fountain, from this projector, from this ability to project energy as creators, as master manifestors, as humanifestors? What is the humanifesting? And so, even in that question, let us get back to the innate, the inner, the understanding, the inner version of you and me in individuality in this sea of collective energy and frequency that is one. So it is invaluable that you tune into your own value, your own self-worth, your own abundance, your own ability to tune your own instrument, to find your rhythm, to feel your notes that you are expressing, that you are writing, that you are vibrating, that you are sending out in a signal, in a signified pattern of neuropathic, this is a play on words, I'm hearing neuropathology, neurotransmitters. What are you transmitting to the canvas that you are embedding into? For once you realize that you are master manifestors, once you realize that it is your ideas that are coming to fruition, that is your concepts that are being conceptualized, I'm hearing that's a play on words. So concepts realized. Once you realize that you are in constant realization, you begin to co-create with your other humans from a very different frequency. You begin to stabilize your own grid system and create patterns within your vehicle transmission, grid system, archaeology, transcriptions, inscriptions. This is all coding, right? Codes. I'm seeing like geometry with like a crystal lattice work. That's the human body. If you look at meridian acupressure points on the body, that's what I'm seeing in light. You then begin to massively produce, increase mass, increase the scale in which this energy is produced, and you produce it at a much higher speed, at a much higher rate, at a much higher volume. Your volume becomes louder, deeper, and more resonant than all of the combinations of all of the loudspeakers, all of the messages that are being blasted from the old architecture. I'm seeing like an old device, right? This is a new way of, like, this sound is very different. For your technology becomes more impactful. How you use your technology, your brain, your organs, your energy patterns, your body becomes able to produce a much larger wave, font, signature, scalar, information, technology, expression. And this is quantum. This changes the speed or the variability or the rate of variability in which information is received, processed, and signaled. Therefore, the architecture responds immediately to the sound or vibration that you, as this up-leveled human, are sending out, creating. I'm seeing a drum, like playing this drum. It's like this beautiful symphony that's created through the people who are harnessing this energy. For there are those who are on this planet just to ride the ride. They are here to ride the ride until it stops, then get off the ride and move on to another ride. That is their own individual choice in this reality and in this expression. Yet there are those who are here to create the ride. And we would venture to say, but aren't they creating the ride as well? Because they are humans? Because they are part of this collective experience? And we would say yes. However, their creationary abilities do not work in the same way. They do not have the enhanced network that the network of individuals that are aware actually have, because they are not tapping into the maximum energy or charge that is available, for they are not in charge of their energy. From one perspective they are, but from another perspective they are choosing to stay on the ride. Therefore, they are giving their energy over to the ride that was created by, and I'm hearing by and by, like, I'm hearing bye, bye, bye. Was that an NSYNC song? It's playing with those NSYNC. They're not in sync. They're in sync with that technology. They're in sync with that reality. And that's it. There are those of us who are syncing up to a higher reality, a higher version. And by the way, this is not a hierarchy. This is not a better than or a higher than or a greater than thou, that, all of that. This is merely a format that we have agreed to co-create from, because this is our desire. This is our desired impact. We came here to have more impact, to make a fully, I'm seeing that reference to fullness and achievement. Was that accomplishment is what the word I used earlier, either in this video or the last one with the big yellow flower behind me. We came here to accomplish something different, because that is our own unique accomplishment. Our ability to harness these energies is part of what we came in here to remember. Some people came in here to remember how to have more fun. Some people came here to remember how to live life from a perspective of I'm hearing popper, someone who's maybe popper. I guess that's a play on words, because I could play with that. I'm seeing some people that like pop. That's the robot. Anyways, that dance a certain way, like that's what they came here to do, is move energy through dance. Other people came here to, I'm just seeing, I gotta play with that. Give me a second. So I was seeing it as a play on words, like some people came here to have that experience. And what I'm seeing is they didn't come here to bring forward as much. Some people chose to come here just to be, for whatever reason, like they wanted this. I'm seeing the words, I'm trying to see what pops out. I like this one. To deny one's advantages. So that's a play on words. I'm seeing how they're playing with this. So pa means few or little. And so some people came here to, boy, this is interesting. Anyways, but it's to be small or to deny that. So some people didn't come here to do that, by the way. They forgot, right? I'm being shown that they came here and they just forgot. So now they went into that, but there's something in there still that they're here to experience. And some of us have experienced that, right, at some point in our lives and grew because of it. I'm being called to share that because it's not a hierarchical thing. I know many people who grew up poor and now are very wealthy because of their experience, right? And vice versa. Some people that were very wealthy that now lost it all because they made certain choices, and those choices gave them an experience. So there's all kinds of reasons. And again, it's not a hierarchy. That's an individual experience. But we refer mostly to the matrix of creation in this particular message. For those of you who are able to see whatever that looks like for thee, some people see more than others. And again, when we say more, they may see more color, they may see more pain, they may see more light, they may see more shadow, they may see or have more understanding of what all of those things that they are seeing represent. And from that, they are able to see more from whatever it is that they are seeing. And we would invite you to recognize that is what you potentially are bringing to reality. The ability to see more and therefore expand and create more bandwidths, more broad bands, a broader band of discovery, of information, signals sent back and forth to source that allow us to offer, to have, to be of service to bring forward more source. More, I'm hearing source, everything. Like, where did that come from? Here you go. I'm giving this to you. Here you go. I'm offering this. Here, I'm sharing this. And so when we share what we are experiencing or what we are creatively experiencing, we are enhancing reality. We increase the landscape. I'm seeing a video game. So my guides always say landscape. So right behind me is a landscape, right? The ocean, the sand, whatever. But if you're creating a video game, that might be the landscape. And then all of a sudden we add trees. We might add a bridge. We might add a plane. So we're increasing what can be seen and experienced for others. Because essentially we're adding to the collective. Others may choose to see what we're creating. Others may choose not to see what we're creating, but we're being invited to see that we are actively creating, whether we see it or not, whether they see it or not. It is an energetic quantum up-leveling that is creating a vividly interactive exchange through source and through our environment that changes our environment moment to moment, and it adds more meaning. That's a play on words. More numbers, more signs, more complexity. So we invite you to go back to the beginning, the root, the center, the bulb. I'm seeing the light bulb. The electric components and the chemical expansiveness that is harnessed inside the human technology. And we invite you to go beyond that through the heart. Perhaps use that as your bulb in which the roots grow out of, yet recognizing that we are many. We that are in this sea, ocean, ability to see, are many. For this is a fractal. We are a fractality of the one. I'm just saying number, energy, sound, source, frequency, light, shadow, water, all the elements. For when we recognize this, we see one another differently. We say, I see you. And when we see one another from a more vivid, interactive, compassionate, vibrant, abundant, joyful perspective, we also reflect that back to each individual version of you and me. This enhances our own network of value, love, light, all of those things, which vibrates at a frequency that enhances the vibration and the frequency of all those that we come into contact with. And on a quantum scale, it activates more. It tells the universe we are ready for more. I'm hearing you in verse, right? The you in verse. It tells us we're ready for more. It tells one another we're ready for more. It tells the story of life we're ready for more. The tree of life, it's all a fractal, and it continues on and on. So the more we remember this, recognize this, feel this, recognize, the faster we duplicate this energy, the faster we create a duplication, a duplicate, play on words. And this enhances reality at such a fast rate that the old reality is so far removed, dissolved, integrated, that it almost no longer exists. It almost isn't relevant because the actions and potentials are no longer happening. I'm hearing action at a distance. It's like so far away. It becomes in the background, and it no longer becomes our creative focus. And that background is then absorbed by the new triangulation of the new expansiveness. It's absorbed. I'm seeing the ocean, the sea. That's the play on words. C, S-E-E. And the letter, it has something to do with musical notes, vibrations in the earth. It becomes absorbed. And when something is absorbed, it's not to say that it is no longer there, yet it is now part of something bigger. It is part of something new, and is part of something that is different, that is felt differently. And therefore, everything within that creation also has the opportunity to be absorbed, dissolved, connected to a higher state, a higher frequency, for it is all connected quantumly. So it does have an impact on all versions of reality, because those who are creating at this heightened state are in a higher state of awareness, manifestation, and a sharing in this cellular reconstruction of all frames of reality. So we invite those who are feeling into this, who are seeing in your own vision of what this looks like, to sense with all senses on, to feel into the sensations of higher expression of love, bliss, joy. And if for some reason there are senses of sadness, feelings of being lost at times, feelings as if we cannot see the future. We invite those feelings to be felt and absorbed, to be integrated, alchemized, recognized, appreciated, utilized. And as you absorb these, we remember more. We begin to feel into the expansiveness of the higher awareness because we begin to see the fear, the doubt. We begin to see the anger and the sadness, and we see it from a different perspective, a higher vantage point, from the sensation of true, I'm just seeing absorption, holding it, and then allowing it to transmute into something else. More of an exchange of energy, more of a feeling of comfort, a feeling of being needed, a feeling of being wanted, and having the compassion of, I'm seeing needed, like not just needing, like I need this in a needy way. It's like, this is part of my joy. It's part of who I am. So it's not work from the sense of I have to do this to get somewhere. It's work as in a reward. It's like we're feeling rewarded because we're doing the work. And in reward isn't even the right word. Like I'm hearing reword the word reward. So let's play with that just for a moment. Okay, so let's play with that. So they're saying reword the word work. So if we, and reword the word reward and the words work. Play with that a little bit. So work, action performed by someone. That's simple. We're performing an action. It feels good. This action feels good. They've called me to look at work of art, right? Like, so we think of a work of art. We don't think of it as work. We think of it as that's a work of art. Someone took action and created this piece. So that's, and then I'm seeing the expression, many hands make light work. That's such a play on words, you guys. Many hands are making light work. We're making things with light. We're making it work for us. And also, simultaneously, of course, the more of us do this, which by the way, is the message that the guys are sharing in this video, the more of us are doing this and we are making light work. So we are creating this much easier, faster, fuller than we ever have. The other word was reward. I'm being called to play with this. It's a doublet of regard. So the sense now given to the word regarding, noticing, observation, respect, and esteem. So I love that. To grant or bestow, to care about or consider, right? So we care about this. Ah, I love that. To favor kindly feeling, which springs from a consideration of estimable qualities. Estimable. I'm on etymology online, by the way, or etym online. All right. I'm going to end on that note, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in and sharing in this now moment with myself and with one another. In love and light. In life. In love and life. Namaste.